What if I told you there were different Marvel universes, that everything you thought was canon could have another story? What if I told you that some of your favorite Marvel characters could have had a different life? What if I told you I've never actually seen any of the Matrix movies, and I don't know what the hell I'm talking about? What if I told you that I'm just wearing Kat's sunglasses?
Is that what those are?
Mm-hmm.
You bastard.
What would you do if I sang out of tune? Would you stand up and walk out on me?
Well, you still got sunglasses, so yeah. Hello and greetings everyone to our newest Marvel Plus show, which is now titled...
Say what now?
Yes, this is a long-awaited series that everybody's been on edge for, and for good reason, too. I will admit, I have not read a single What If comic. I've certainly heard of them, but I've never actually read them.
I have read one. What If Astonishing X-Men. That is the only one that I have read.
Yeah, so we're going into this with, like, the barest minimum, so a lot of things are going to be a surprise for us. I'm sure a lot of people have already been anticipating certain titles and whatnot. I only know of them because I actually saw the trailer. I couldn't help myself. The trailer, like, looked badass, and when I saw it, I'm like, okay, you hooked me. So I'm the only one out of the both of us who knows what storylines are coming, although I'm sure you're going to figure it out pretty quickly. As far as we know, only 3 episode titles have dropped so far, but I assume that's going to change in the coming weeks. I think there's... how many?
I think it's supposed to last through till September.
I believe so. Like,
yeah.
How many episodes? Like 10 or something? We don't expect this to be long. I mean, considering all the other MCU stuff has only been like 6 episodes the most. But then again, those episodes were like twice to 3 times the length of what you would normally expect. But in this case, What If is only half an hour each, which is good for me because editing those other MCU shows, you know, with their nearly hour long, it's a beast for me to edit. Like, you guys have no clue. But today we will start our first episode with the first Avenger. What if I told you that Captain Carter was the first Avenger? What if I told you she was a woman from Great Britain? Yeah, I saw the comments on this already before this even dropped. I'm like, oh boy, here we go. Yeah, it was bad enough when people lost their shit when they announced that Thor was going to be played by Natalie Portman, but then when they heard that, you know, Peggy Carter was going to be Captain America, oh my god, they can't do that, Captain America's a man.
Hey, guess what? It's not canon, so it doesn't really matter.
Yes.
None of this matters.
Remember, everyone, the canon's made up and the points don't matter. Yeah, the points are like all the Loki variants we just saw. They are cool to look at, but they don't ultimately matter. So take it as you will. I'm looking forward to it. I do like Peggy Carter. We tried to watch, was it Agent Carter?
Yeah.
Couldn't quite get into it because it's one of those things where, yeah, it's cool as a prequel, but you ultimately know where everything's going to end up. So it's more just, you know, seeing backstory and fill in the blanks in a few spaces, and it wasn't really enough to capture our interest, but don't get me wrong, everyone in it was a really good actor and whatnot. This was back in the day before watching Marvel shows had kind of become mandatory. So to us, this was like, we can skip this. But ultimately, like I said, we do like Peggy Carter as a character. We like her from the movies, and I look forward to seeing how she's gonna work out as what do they call her, Captain Britain? Maybe this is the version where Britain wins the World War II without America's help. America just stays off on the sidelines. They don't get to claim this victory. Although I kind of hope Steve still shows up in this. I think he is, because I saw that they dropped a whole bunch of, like, celeb names on who's going to appear in the series, and they got a lot of the original voice cast back. It's actually quite impressive how many people they got back. Not surprised. I mean, once you're in a Marvel film, you sign a contract for life. They want you to come back. You come to fuck back.
Unless you're Scarlett Johansson.
We're not going to
get into that, no.
Well, let's get started, shall we? Let's see what would happen if we had Captain Britain instead of Captain America. So, play.
Space.
The Final Frontier.
Be the Watcher.
It's a prison
Daryl Hammond.
of endless possibility.
Love the animation in this. It's so good.
I am the Watcher.
Yep.
I am your guide through these vast new realities.
I sit on my ass and do nothing.
Follow me and ponder the question.
Are you pondering what if I'm pondering?
So all these stories are just like things he makes up in his mind.
Agent Carter, wouldn't you be more comfortable in the booth?
No, I prefer to stay.
Power levels are dropping. We either do this now or we lose the project. Rodgers, get in there.
He can't!
Stark, you go in. What? Are you crazy? I push the buttons. I'm the buttons guy. Stark, get over there. Deck and bullets don't mix. We're gonna lose everything. It has to be now. Do you know how much this costs?
I'll be right back.
I'm not going anywhere.
Howard, get ready.
Agent,
I'm shot and I'm bleeding out, but hey, I'll wait for you to get superpowers.
Pull the lever!
It's not the wrong lever.
Why do we even have that lever?
Should get a bulk up and like you're 6 feet tall. I think he wears sunglasses indoors. Check me out!
Did it work?
and then some. You won't be needing those hills anymore.
Peggy?
What an absolute failure. $60 million and all the hope in the world down the drain. I was promised an army. I was promised peace and salvation. Instead, I get a girl.
I understand this is not
Hey.
a desired outcome, but I can be more than a human pincushion.
And if we get lucky, someday your blood might tell us how to make a real super soldier.
You have a super
Women
soldier.
aren't soldiers. And they sure as hell don't fight on the front lines. They might break a nail.
I knew this would happen.
Nice left hook.
Not according to Colonel Filip. Weapons great moron. If only I was allowed to that his head.
It could be worse. Flynn could stick you on one of those USO tours. Being told to smile 10 times a day.
He wouldn't. He couldn't. Could he?
I mean,
I'm sorry. You were meant to be the one to end the war.
Now you will. And don't worry about me. I never was much of a dancer anyway.
Maybe you haven't found the right partner.
nah. He still looks weird.
Yeah.
As a skinny kid.
Like, you have the opportunity to, do something different and make him actually look proportional instead of somebody's head CGI on a skinny person's body.
Real Christmas card of a town.
The Tesseract was the jewel of Odin's treasure room, fabled to hold the power to rewrite the very laws of physics and unlock doors across the universe. What you seek is just a
Oh,
legend.
you have no clue.
And why do you try so hard to hide it?
If this reaches Hydra High Command, it's game over. I'm not risking one man, never mind a platoon, over a glorified battery. The greatest minds alive.
And Stark is one of them.
This doesn't concern you. You're lucky to be in the room. Colonel, the greatest minds alive can't fathom the extent of this battery's power. Good. Who knows? Maybe the war will be over before Hydra figures out how to turn the damn thing on.
Ay, ay. You remember this guy from the movie? I certainly
I
don't.
don't.
Drowning your troubles? Twins of moron. Lucky for you, I'm a genius.
What's this?
It was supposed to be your USO Let's Go Sell Some War Bonds costume, but I made a few upgrades.
Your covert skills need work.
Then this is gonna be awkward.
So he just automatically chose the shield. Didn't Steve choose it in the movie? Oh, she learned the hang of that real quick. Just pulled a Dark Knight.
Brilliant! Let's give it another go.
Wait, we need to exchange insurance.
This is why you wear your seatbelt.
Nice kick.
Ha!
I'm usually a bit more covert.
Dang. Time to break out the muscle.
Where have you been in my life?
Allies must be desperate.
That was what, 2-3 punches?
What? Scheiße. Exactly.
Nah.
Language.
The war's out there, Colonel.
You're an agent. You're not qualified for field duty.
Then you better promote me. Captain has a nice ring to it. I trust you know what to do with that.
Bucky's unit is now 50 kilometers behind the front line. I can't ask you to go.
You're not asking. He's your friend.
The best one I got.
But even better, if we're going to take down Hydra, we'll need all the friends we can get.
Oh.
I owe you one.
You owe me more than that. You owe me a dance.
Exactly. Aww.
This is nice. You mind if I have
On your left?
Ghost Rider, eat your heart out.
Are you the 107th? I'm here for Sergeant Barnes.
Who are you supposed to be? Queen of England?
Fuck you, Bucky.
Steve Rodgers sent me.
It really looks like they stuck her head on my Steve's body.
What in heavens?
Here I come, this is the day. Oh shit.
Steve!
Hey, Peggy. Now you owe me one.
No, he's in the Proto Iron Man outfit. I can hear Tony cringing in the future.
Go Team
I
Cap.
think I'm friends with him too.
Stark made me some new dancing shoes. What do you think?
We better start dancing.
Oh my god. They successfully made Captain America and Iron Man canon as a ship. Oh my god.
Hold on. You can't even drive a car.
Dame and a flying Buick. Okay.
Let's hear it for Captain Carter!
Save the cheers for the victory parade.
Remember, if you can wiggle your finger, you can dance.
Especially me, Mr. President. I've always said that Peggy is a real knockout.
Oh, up yours.
Knock you out.
I like he's basically her Steve now. Oh, snap. Whee! We haven't seen Steve do this? Holy shit. Leaping plane to plane? That's awesome. Meanwhile, at Disney World.
Captain Carter.
But a god does not answer to a man.
A god. You.
Ugh.
Got a little red on you.
Reich. The Third Reich will fall.
Pump fist.
I miss a good whiskey. But the serum doesn't allow me to feel the effects.
I was gonna say.
The way people view me has changed. I'm no longer screaming to be heard, to be seen, to be in the room.
To be respected.
That sounds nice.
I'm still that skinny kid from Brooklyn. Now just in a big metal suit.
You're more than the suit. The suit is nothing without the man inside. You're my hero, Steve. I mean, you're a hero.
Aww.
Hey, let's go with Jeep.
Cock block.
Let's go. Oh, no, you continue. Just pretend I'm not here.
Oh, you ass!
What, you like to watch?
God damn it, Howard. He would. He's Tony's dad, after all.
We can end the war? Yeah, I've heard that one before. Something about this smells as fresh as 3-day-old fish.
Or maybe you're just afraid of trains.
We'll have reason to be. Assuming that's what happens in this timeline.
Woo, thanks. You almost ripped my arm off.
Rogers, what's your status?
Drop! Oh, shit. Oh, damn. I think I know where this is going.
The Winter Stever.
She should never have been in the field in the first place.
God forbid she feel bad about losing a team member.
I was wondering when you might visit me. I will tell you nothing.
He told me everything. Our German guest, Red Skull believes he can unleash an interdimensional force that will lead Hydra to world domination.
No wonder Hydra targeted Rodgers. You need the stomper to get close.
Colonel, you're lucky to even be in the room.
Ooh.
Red Skull wants to destroy
Shut
our
him up.
world. In many ways, he already has.
I'm in. For Steve.
Yes, let's do it for Rogers.
Oh, I'm not a... You know...
Come on, Howard. We might need someone to push a button.
Nah.
must have mean they stole it from Steve.
That way.
Should we not have a plan?
Who needs a plan? I have a shield.
The shield is not a plan.
It could be. Oh god. Is he unleashing Cthulhu?
The champion of Hydra has risen.
Is he summoning Cthulhu?
Bloody hell.
I swear to god.
So that's where the squid from Watchmen went.
I have summoned the champion of Hydra.
That hurts your sudden but inevitable betrayal.
Okay, maybe we need a plan.
Steve! Steve, come on.
Ah, he
Don't
survived.
give up on me. I'm up for anything. This is crazy. Yeah, so is Steve Rodgers.
Can't argue with that. I'm surprised they kept him alive and didn't do anything with him though.
You okay? Yeah.
Much like Tony
Good,
Stark,
because we don't have
Iron
okay.
Man is drunk here.
Well, he can get drunk now, so.
If I can get to the controls, I might be able to transpose the ingress and do science stuff.
You mean transpose the polarity and reverse the suction?
Hey, being a genius is my thing. Show off. Sweet baby.
Uh-oh.
Steve?
Did you miss me?
Did
you miss me?
Second.
I told you it was indestructible.
Oof.
You were saying.
Maybe not quite.
Oh, wow. Calamari.
I guess the squid from 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea needs to find work somewhere.
Go get him, Steve.
Looking good, Steve.
Thing is holding it open.
And I'll push it back to hell.
Push it back, way back.
No.
Now.
This is the thing, operate on like triple C batteries.
I can end this.
You owe me a dance lesson.
Yes. Saturday night.
I mean, did she have to go in? She could have shoved it and then backed away. Figures first he dies and comes back, and now she dies. How many years later is this?
Looks like Stan finally figured out how to open the portal.
Oh.
Sir, that's Captain Carter.
Where's Steve Rodgers?
The war ended almost 70 years ago.
Oh.
We won the war.
Actually, no, we didn't.
Gave birth to a whole new history. I observe all that transpires here, but I do not, cannot, will not interfere. For
Big
I
shock.
am the Watcher.
I am the universe's laziest entity. Interesting take. I'd say that definitely changes a few things. Although, is it just me, or do they miss an opportunity with making Steve the new Winter Soldier?
Yeah.
Like, I'm honestly really surprised that that's not the direction they went in. But then again, I don't know, maybe they had to do that because since Peggy isn't the one that, like, starts S.H.I.E.L.D., maybe Steve is.
Could be.
Yeah, see, they got a lot of the same voice actors here.
Who is Ross Marquand?
Oh, Red Skull.
Yeah.
Is he the same one that plays Red Skull in Endgame?
I guess
Infinity
I
War
have
Endgame?
to re-look at that. So instead of Chris Evans, they got Josh Keaton to voice Steve.
I mean, he did a pretty good imitation.
Daryl Hammond as the Nazi general. You're supposed to be doing a Sean Connery impression.
Like I said, interesting take. I mean, it definitely makes her, in my opinion, more of an underdog because, you know, she's a woman in a time where women basically didn't have any rights. And here she is, a big super soldier with the power to basically plow to the front line of any war situation.
And it's just amazing what happens when, instead of just letting the man tell you what you can and can't do, she just takes charge. And she's like, I'm not going to listen to you. Fuck off. I'm doing this. You're just going to sit there and like it. Or not. I don't care. But you're going to let it happen.
I mean, it took way less time for her to do that than Steve. I mean, he, for the most part, followed orders up to when Bucky and his group got captured. I mean, I guess you could argue that he had to, because that's how Captain America becomes the icon he is, by doing all these USO shows and, you know, developing the reputation. So I can understand the essentialism of that, because it didn't seem like she was big on doing any of those herself. It was more just doing the fighting and everything, so she probably didn't have, like, the same fandom surrounding her.
Yeah.
Which is no surprise. I do kind of debate the choice, though, of automatically giving her the shield. Because, again, Steve was the one who looked among all these shields and whatnot, and he chose that one particular. And the thing is, like, it works for Steve. We've seen throughout the movie he favors defense over fighting. So it makes sense for his character. I don't think it makes that much sense for Peggy, though. Because, like you said, she takes charge and she goes right in there. If anything, she's more the sword to his shield. So it honestly doesn't really make that much sense to me for her to have that kind of shield. At least not like that form. I think if it was like a modification, if it was like a shield she can like attach a weapon to like stab someone with, that would be more fitting.
Could be. I mean, honestly, in the long run, it really doesn't matter so much. It's an alternate telling. Yeah. You know, it can happen in any order, in any form. It doesn't matter if Steve chose the shield out of other choices.
I mean, it's symbolic, though, because out of all these big fancy shields he was given, the one that he went for was like this plain little round shield. It was small and unassuming, like he was. So like I said, it was fitting for his character. I just don't think it fits for Peggy Carter, because again, yeah, she's a woman, but I wouldn't call her like small.
No.
Like even before this, she is like the only woman we see allowed in almost like full access to these like war events. I like I said, I just felt like if they were going to give her a shield, it should have been something a little different, more fitting to her.
Yeah, I hear what you're saying, and I agree she should probably have something a little bigger or, you know, more fitting of her personality. But I'm not...
I know, if they did that, then she wouldn't be Captain America or Captain Britain or whatever she's known as.
I mean, that doesn't matter so much to me, honestly. It's whatever it is, you know? Mm-hmm. I can't be mad about it. I kind of going with the flow on this.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not being critical of this. I'm just saying from, like, a whole, like, movie-making artist standpoint, that's just how I interpret it. But other than that, they said that everything else about this was great. I love the animation. Voice acting was great. It was an interesting direction they took in. Like I said, I feel like they didn't go far enough, because I would have been interested to see Steve, like, become the new Winter Soldier, because technically in this timeline, the Winter Soldier doesn't exist. Because think about it, Bucky never fell into that ravine and was captured by Hydra, and as far as we saw, nobody else in their platoon was lost. And yeah, granted, they could have like captured somebody else, but it's not
experiment on. Yeah.
But it's not like anybody we know.
Not anybody we know. No.
Mm-hmm. So it doesn't have the same impact. It's not like, oh, it's the best friend of Captain America. He's a bad guy now. It's like, oh, look, it's some schmo. Okay. I mean, definitely a better timeline for Bucky in this sense. His life doesn't get, like, totally ruined.
Yeah. I wonder if Isaiah still happened.
That's a hard call. Especially...
Or something to, you know, something equivalent to Isaiah happening.
Hard to say, because technically in this continuity, Captain America doesn't exist. Captain Britain's the big one, so if anything, they would probably find a replacement for Captain Britain. So yeah, I don't think Isaiah probably would have went through all that either, presumably. Probably another soldier, if I had to guess. And once again, Red Skull was fucking useless. Like, I know his whole, like, thing in Captain America is, you know, to be the big baddie behind the Nazi regime and to be the one who steals the Tesseract and gets it to the point we need it to get to so it appears later in the future. But when you ultimately think about it, he's kind of useless in the grand scheme of things.
Yep. He's just there to move the plot along.
And actually, when you think about it, since the squid decimates him, he doesn't appear in Vormir in Endgame and Infinity Wars.
Not unless he got grabbed by the squid and the squid pulled him back into that dimension.
But then it would have pulled Peggy too. Portals, how do they work?
Now you're playing with portals.
I love, though, how they still were in love despite him not having any powers.
Yeah.
I always like timelines or alternate stories like that where, you know, the main couple, no matter what circumstance, whatever, they ultimately still fall in love. Like, that to me is, like, the most wholesome thing ever. It just sucks that once again, they're torn apart by, you know, this.
Yep.
I mean, I know people have pointed out how Steve didn't have to crash that plane into the Arctic. Like, he could have escaped.
He could have jumped out, yeah.
Yeah. I guess it's the same with this. Like, she technically didn't have to follow it all the way in. She could have, like, shoved it through or, like, hit it with a shield. Like, she didn't have to follow it in.
Yeah, but then, of course, it's like, if that happens, then they don't go to the future, interact with the current timeline, etc., etc.
I do find it interesting, though, that Howard is the one who invented the original Iron Man suit. Like, Tony basically came up with that. Tony Stark came up with this in a cave with a box of scraps.
I mean, who's to say, like, in the other timeline that Howard Stark hadn't ever thought of the Iron Man concept in some way, shape, or form?
I guess he must have, and maybe that's why Tony was inspired to make the suit. It just seems weird that that would pre-exist before Tony. And not only that, but basically the same model, which, like I said, he made from scraps in a cave.
They say great minds think alike, something like that.
Yeah, I know.
Or in this case, great mind and whatever the hell Tony's mind is.
Again, I find it so interesting how Steve basically became the original proto-Iron Man and fought alongside Captain Britain, the alternate version of Captain America, and they were sort of an item. That just will always be amusing to me.
And yet again, I reiterate, go Team Cap.
Go Team Stark. Hey, keep in mind, none of this would be possible without Howard. You make shit on Tony, but you have to admit, if it wasn't for Howard, almost none of this would exist.
Yeah, but Howard's not off starting a war.
No, he's ending it.
Mm-hmm. Howard's not off starting a civil war.
Actually, interesting headcanon I just developed. Because think about it, since Peggy's the one that ends up going to the future, that means Steve technically lives out his life the way he should have. Since he's friends with Howard, I wonder if he would have met Tony as a kid.
Probably.
Like, imagine if he actually became like a mentor to him. He could have actually turned Tony's life around, like steered him in the right direction. Because, I mean, yeah, we know that Howard was kind of a shitty parent to him and everything, but Steve, giving, you know, his moral uprightness and everything, I wonder if he would have, like, you know, seen Tony, felt bad, and, like, took him under his wing or something.
Been like the child he never had with Peggy.
So that would be an interesting story to tell. And I half wonder, like, if it would still go in the same direction, because we knew that Tony kind of grew up jealous of Steve, given how Howard was always, like, praising him and everything, and talking about the adventures of Captain America and all that, and we know that's what kind of starts their whole, like, bitter rivalry when they first meet in Avengers. But if he grows up with him and actually sees firsthand what a cool guy is, I just wonder things would have played out differently. Oh, what could have been.
Yep.
I mean, it doesn't matter. They ultimately end up friends by the end. Dear God, like, so many different things would have happened. And again, I question, like, would S.H.I.E.L.D. still exist?
Like you said, you know, it could be that Steve winds up starting it with Howard.
Steve and Bucky, maybe.
Yeah.
Because we know that Hydra still doesn't disappear. I mean, granted, Red Skull still leaves this world in whatever capacity, but we know Hydra still is around, so obviously S.H.I.E.L.D's gonna be there. Was this like a full comic, or was it just like this segment? Like, do you know that?
I have no idea. I thought this was just kind of wholly original.
Yeah, because I wonder if it was like, this is just like a one-off thing, just a snippet. All these potentials makes me wonder, like, if this was a long-running series, how much would, like, they tackle?
I think it was just, like, periodic one-offs for What If. Again, like I said, I don't really have much experience aside from the one comic, so I can't say what other what ifs there are out there.
Yeah, one last question though. So their whole, I'll just call it Nexus event. So the whole Nexus event for this is that Peggy stayed in the room as opposed to going up to watch. But what did that change exactly? I know the guy still shows up, he still shoots the one scientist, but he also shoots Steve.
I guess by Peggy being there was one more person in the area. I don't know, I guess it changed how everybody in the room was formed.
I guess, but memory serves me right, the guy didn't actually attack till Steve was in the machine, right? The scientist stayed long enough for the thing to actually go through and affect him. And then once he got out, that's when he chases the guy down. But in this case, I guess her being there caused the guy to act sooner than he would have.
Possibly.
But instead of escaping, she shoots him. And because Steve actually got out of the machine to go help her, she jumped in instead. So I guess that was the thing, because she was in the room, Steve got up to help her when he thought she was in trouble.
Could be.
Okay. Like I said, man, butterfly effect. Like, one little thing. Turn left, turn right. Oh no, we destroyed the world. So yeah, first episode I think is a pretty strong start. I mean, it makes sense to start with the first Avenger. I mean, why not? So yeah, the next episode, we don't have it on hand, but if memory serves me right, I think the next episode is going to feature T'Challa, or, you know, this universe's version of Star-Lord. That's what I've seen regarding the trailer. I gotta say, that episode's going to be so emotional. Because it's Chadwick Boseman's last. And it's like, yeah, we know he's always going to live on in the movies and stuff, but, you know, there's always going to be a little sadness to it. And, of course, we have other alternate timelines, too. I know Loki's supposed to, again, show up in this, because Lord knows we haven't gotten enough of Loki.
Can you ever get enough Loki?
Nah.
And I know there are some people that, if you ever said that, they'd scream at your face.
It's like, it's not enough he gets his own series, now he's gotta, like, get his own episode in, like, a collaboration of other superheroes.
That also happens in an alternate universe.
Well, given his variants, it's obvious that he exists in, like, every single possible timeline. Because there's one thing we know about Loki's, they survive.
Yep.
But until next time, when we ask the question of what if, I'm Kat MacBerrie.
I'm Doug MacBerrie.
And this time, they did not do Watchmen without the giant squid. Cthulhu shall reign.